ONDE? ONDE?
They're French.
ONDE, an ethereal, quote, sound-surfing platformer from a couple of first-time indie devs, is, for my 12 francs, the most underrated game of 2022 thus far. In it, you control this little bubble boy, or whatever it is, like a cosmic jellyfish maybe? Anyway, you and Ghost Squidward weave through an amazing array of rhythm-based bubble puzzles from deep sea to outer space, each more vibrant, trippy, and challenging than the last. If you'll permit me a minute or three, I'd like to use this scoring system to unpack what I think ONDE does so well and why I think it's worth your time. ONDE is a wonderland of color and light, stuffed full of genuinely jaw-dropping moments worthy of top marks for art style. For reference, only 2 of the 27 games I've reviewed on this silly channel can say the same. Meanwhile, the music and sound effects in ONDE are so intertwined with the game's fluid art style that the 3 begin to merge into one singular experience. Swelling lights and ascending arpeggios will climb alongside Bubble Boy before his tumultuous journey inevitably crashes him downward into the darkness, with descending scales in tow. In short, the game's style is a beautiful, harmonious, audio-visual feast, probably worth the price of admission alone. From the 18 people that have actually played this game, ONDE's gameplay has naturally drawn comparisons to the non-combat, movement-centric masterpieces of Journey and Abzu. I'll stop just short of such praise, for while the graceful flow of ONDE certainly scratches at your serotonin, the mechanics here feel a touch too simplistic. You see, Bubble Boy is in fact 4 separate bubbles, each of which will occasionally drift off on their own to power one of the 3 types of bubble totems that further your flow. All you'll need to do in this equation is decide when to activate each totem, after which your tiny friends will automatically reconverge and wait for the game to send them off again. So, while it's a touch too autopilot for my tastes, I will happily admit that this design decision furthers the game's goal of providing a satisfying, stress-free, even meditative experience. Moving on, ONDE's minimalistic UI keeps the experience immersive and intuitive without ever feeling hand-holdy. And though ONDE is overall a tremendously playable experience, what with snappy load times, friendly checkpoints, and at times brilliant camera work, I must sadly dock the game a point here for a game-breaking spawn point bug that cost me at least 30 minutes of my dumb life. That is before my better half grew tired of my bitching and echoed Dogbert's immortal tech advice for whenever something goes wrong.
Shut up and reboot.
Finally, a few words on content, and God bless you for sticking around. ONDE's, quote, world, a micrometric term I use to account for, among many things, level design, does a great job of feeding into that audio-visual feast I described earlier. More specifically, levels here are paced like, well, waves, in that they crash you from frantic highs into slow lows. Along the way, you'll face a nice blend of puzzles, the best of which ask you to juggle multiple bubble types at once. White bubbles push you, blue bubbles stick to you, pink bubbles suck you in or shoot you out, and black bubbles kill you. As for value, a single playthrough of ONDE will net you about 3 hours for under $15. So while its dollar to hour ratio ain't quite a steal, ONDE, as its namesake would suggest, is likely to pull you back into its depths for another ride at some point, if only to smugly show off to a friend. Mechanically light and devoid of story, ONDE may draw criticism for being an art simulator first and a puzzle game second. But when the art is this gorgeous and the price this reasonable, I can't imagine not wholeheartedly recommending ONDE as a beautiful, zen-like change of pace. After averaging up our micrometrics, ONDE earns a stellar mega score of 4.1 out of 5, good for second all-time on the channel after Psychonauts 2. So yeah.
Check it out.